All right, guys. With this being the picks for the college games, and OU having a big game this weekend, just wanted to include that in there. Anyway, though, the main part of this obviously is the Thursday night football game, which is not very good. So yeah, let's try to get that over with. Anyway, though, I'll be picking that game in as well as all the big college games as well. Let's get into it though. And with that, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Fun NFL. Please like and subscribe if you guys enjoy this Week 3 Thursday Night Football preview. Again, there's a lot of big games this week. It's also the last week before international games start up. So, again, a lot of crazy stuff's going to be going on very soon. But our Thursday Night Football matchup kicking off Week 3 will be a battle between the AFC East rivals, I guess-ish. The Dolphins, who come in off of two not very good performances against a Bills squad that looks like the best team in the NFL. They were number one in my power rankings. Again, you can go watch that. That came out yesterday. With that said, though, Dolphins, like I said, have not an ideal start to their season. Mike McDaniel already coming into the season, their head coach, under a pretty decent amount of scrutiny from for some people. But Week 1, they laid an egg on offense, scoring only 8 points. Their defense allowed us to score actually until on all 7 drives they had against them in that game. And then again, that bled over, really, I guess that's what you could say, to the Patriots game where they gave up 3 straight scores. That was double-digit 10 straight scoring drives they allowed again, between Week 1 and Week 2. They sort of recovered. Again, they actually took the lead late in that game against the Patriots with a Malik Washington kick return touchdown, a punt return touchdown, my bad. And then the next play, again, Antonio Gibson did all that. But anyway, not trying to recap it too much, but this Dolphins team has not had a good start to the season. They look like one of the worst teams in football as well from that, especially on defense. Not much has been really going on for their defense in this season so far. Bills, on their hand, like I said, they were number one in my power rankings. They had played 2 very, very wild performances. The first one was against the Ravens, where they were down 40-25 with 4 minutes to go. They ended up coming back in that one off of a Derrick Henry fumble late. Again, Josh Allen on a monster game. Last week, he got smacked in the nose. He'll be wearing a visor for the first time since college. Again, at least in the actual NFL games. So that'll be very interesting to watch. But, yeah, they absolutely blew up the Jets last week. They were a much better team. Their defense looks really fun. Again, even though they gave 40 points to the Ravens 2 weeks ago. But, again, hopefully they'll have a better performance here at home. But, again, this is overall probably a trap game for the Bills if we look at it. Anyway, though, these two teams, again, play every single year. They've actually had some very, very fun games against each other as of recently. Again, last year when they played in Buffalo, the Bills won that one 30-27 on a game winning. It was like 60-yard kick or something, 61-yarder, I think, from Tyler Bass. That was a very, very crazy game. Again, when they played also in Week 2 on Thursday Night Football, so very similar to this game. It was in Miami. That was a game that Tua got a concussion and really derailed the Dolphins season overall. But anyway, this game will be at 8:15 on Amazon Prime Video. That's the only thing you can stream it on. Again, if you want to, again, watch the pregame, I think that starts at 7 as well. But announcing this game will be Al Michaels, Kirk Herbstreit, and Kaylee Hunger, the usual group. The weather in Buffalo for this game is pretty ideal. You have 67. All right, get out, bro. 8-mile-per-hour winds, and again, clear with periodic clouds, so about pretty solid weather for this game. But for the Dolphins and their starting lineup, there's definitely some interesting things to go off of. First off, Tua is going to obviously start, and he'll probably play fine. But Zach Wilson is the backup in case things get ugly. Devon Achane and Jalen Wright is back and healthy. Ollie Gordon has not really been great the first 2 weeks. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle is questionable. Get Tyreek Hill at his best game, and probably, honestly, since that Week 1 game against the Jags last year. He got pulled over. But Malik Washington, Nick Westbrook, again, will get some good targets. Darren Waller's out once again, so Julian Hill will continue to play tight end. They do not have a legit tight end right now, let's be honest there. Al Gingles, their fullback, he's healthy. Patrick Paul, Jonas Aviana, Aaron Brewer, and Keon Smith across the O-line with Leon Eichenberg still on the PUP list. Austin Jackson was placed on IR, which is not good. Larry Bourne will start. Safe to say this offensive line is in shambles right now. For this defense, Chop Robinson and Benito Jones are both questionable. Zeke Biggers actually is a decent player. Matthew Judon, despite being a well-known vet, has not been really good at all the past couple of years. Zach Sealer, again, is their superstar nose tackle, who has really yet to, not really defensive tackle, but is really yet to get it going so far this season. Kenneth Grant, again, has gotten some snaps as well. Bradley Chubb, again, is the other edge rusher technically, with Jalen Phillips and Cameron Goody also getting some good snaps. Tyler Dotson and Jordan Brooks are the linebackers, with Efedo Malafano being out. Strong safety Ashton Davis will definitely get the start, who, again, he took the spot over. Jack Jones, Storm Duck is out again for a while, so Ethan Bonner and Jason Marshall Jr. will round at the rest of the secondary. Minka, they'll have to have a much better game than he had last week. They don't have a kicker right now. I don't really know what's going on. I don't even know who they put out there last week, to be honest with you guys. Jake Bailey, Malik Washington, Joe Cardano round out the rest of their roster for the Buffalo Bills. They have Josh Allen at quarterback, James Cook, Ray Davis, and Ty Johnson again on the running backs. Keon Coleman, not great week last week, but again, Mitch only threw for like 150 yards. Cliff Kier, Joshua Palmer had a pretty fun week. Elijah Moore also had a nice play. Kincaid and Dawson Knox, who have had very nice starts to the season, are a tight end. With Reggie Gilliam as their fullback. Their offensive line is fully healthy. Is the exact same offensive line I talked about in their roster grades. Really nothing much else to it. For their defense, Greg Rousseau, Joey Bosa, Javon Solomon. Solomon will get a lot of good edge pass rushing snaps because of how he played the first 2 weeks. Landon Jackson hasn't really gone off the greatest start. AJ Epinesa is also there. Ed Oliver will be out. Larry Ogunjobi, being a bad boy, is suspended. TJ Slayton and Daquan Jones will start there, though. Matt Milano's out. That's a big loss. Shaq Thompson's questionable. I don't know if he'll play. Joe Andreessen will get out there anyway, though, because Terrell Bernard and Dorian Williams, again, will probably be doing most of the snaps anyway. Tre'Davious White, Jamarcus Ingram might get out there a little bit, but Tre'Davious White, again, actually hasn't been too bad the first 2 weeks. Christian Medford, Dorian Strong, I think will definitely take over at some point in the physical corner out of Virginia Tech. Teron Johnson's questionable. That is a big issue. Jordan Hancock will play if he couldn't go. Cam Lewis, again, is questionable. Cole Bishop, Taylor Rapp are the safeties, with Cam Lewis, again, like I said, being questionable. And you got DeMar Hamlin also there at safety. Matt Prater, Cam Johnson are the kicker and punters. Brandon Codrington is the returner, with Reed Ferguson doing the long snapping. With that said, though, if we look at this game and how I think it'll go, I think overall this game will be decent in terms of an entertaining value, unless, again, Tua gets concussed again. I don't think this is going to be like some end-all, be-all. It's going to be a boring game. It's going to be an absolute just, like, bloodbath sort of thing. But at the same time, again, both these offenses are pretty talented overall. I think there'll definitely be a lot of scoring. Whether it's, again, again, competitive time, that's really, again, up to your own opinion there. But, again, I think it'll at least be a decent game to watch. For the winner of this game, though, I mean, this kind of tells you who I'm going to pick. I would be absolutely shocked if the Dolphins came in here and put up any better performance defensively than what they did last week, which is not a good performance. I'm fully expecting the Bills to have an absolute just like field day out there on offense. Field night, I guess. I don't know what you'd call it. It's going to be a track meet. Dolphins, I think, want to turn that into it. For that reason, I think they're actually put up a decent amount of points in this one, but I don't think they're going to have overall a great performance. I think they'll often be trailing by at least 20 points at one point, and I don't know, maybe they make it a little bit closer. But I'm going to say that the Bills win this one 35-24 and take this one pretty handily. With that said, though, it's time for the week 4 now college football game day picks. If you have not watched prior Thursday Night Football previews / predictions, then you wouldn't know what this is. But I'm basically trying to integrate a little bit of college football here. We are going to be picking all the major or competitive college football games this week. Again, I've been doing this. I think the offensive roster grades I did it for week 1 of college football, considering college football starts a week earlier. But again, over Labor Day weekend, and then we also had week 2 and week 3 Thursday Night Football previews as well for those games. No, and kickoff week. My bad. But anyway, ignore the confidence points thing. Again, I'll worry about that later. But my actual picks. First off is a big noon banger. Again, it'll be on Fox. We have Texas Tech versus Utah. Texas Tech is at a paper soft. Easy schedule. Utah, first 2 looked great. Last week in the first half really struggled. Devin Dampier, their quarterback, is a really fun guy. I don't know, maybe the Rams get him, probably not at this point. But still, Utah is a pretty solid team, especially defensively. They just look a lot better than they were last year, again, where they had freaking Isaiah Wilson starting and stuff. But Texas Tech is a very talented team. They, again, if you didn't know, they spent a crap ton on transfers this offseason, this college football offseason as well. But I'm going to pick Utah. Again, with them being at home, I think they're just a better team than Texas Tech overall as well in terms of, again, where they're performing right now. Because Texas Tech, they haven't played anyone good. I don't really know how good they actually are. This will definitely be a good test. Again, you probably could take Texas Tech, so they probably overall are a more talented team. But I like where Utah is right now. Next up, we have Arkansas and Memphis. Memphis, again, is a ACC school. Or no, my bad, an American school, so they don't really get the really benefit of the doubt there. Arkansas has had a decent first couple weeks. They had an absolute shootout last week against Ole Miss's backup quarterback, who's actually a pretty good player as well. But Taylor Green, I think, is one of the better quarterbacks in the entire country. And despite this defense not really being the greatest, I don't see Memphis putting up enough points to really keep up with Arkansas. I'm going to give them the road win. What I think will definitely be a competitive game. Next up is SMU and TCU. SMU has been mad shaky on defense. They barely, but they escaped last week. I forgot who they played, but they definitely, again, it was a pretty close game. Kevin Jennings didn't have his greatest game. Again, they lost an absolute crazy game against Baylor the week before, who I don't really consider as a great team either. But with TCU being at home and the fact, again, they blew out North Carolina the way they did a couple weeks ago. Last week just played a cupcake. I'm going to say they win this one pretty handily. I don't really see this one being much of a contest either. Anyway, though, up next, we have an absolute massive matchup. Again, Nebraska, who's been trying to break through. Matt Rule again came in a couple years ago. Last year, they didn't really. Again, they were actually made their first bowl game. I think their first bowl game win in a while now. Again, after that Scott Frost fiasco for like 4 years there. But Michigan, again, is a much better team overall, if I'm going to be honest. They're number 21 in the country for a reason. But I actually think Bryce Underwood, their true freshman quarterback, who, again, was rattled against Oklahoma, will be rattled in this game as well. And as well as, again, T.M. Patrick Mahomes, Dylan Raiola doesn't suck. I actually think Nebraska's going to pull off a big upset here, and a lot of people are going to be stunned. Again, I don't see them pulling up again against Ohio State or Penn State, but I'm going to say they pull off a huge upset here, and a lot of people are going to be like, what the heck is this Nebraska team now? Again, they shouldn't be favored, though. Again, they're not a better team than Michigan. All right, North Carolina, UCF. Give me UCF. I don't see this game being close. UCF, again, I understand Scott Frost isn't some phenomenal coach, but when he's been here, they have been a pretty successful team. North Carolina, I just don't think is very good either. They're just not that talented, in my opinion. I think Gio Lopez is trash, so give me UCF in that one. Next, we got NC State, who a lot of people like because, again, they've been pretty decent the first couple weeks against a Duke squad that is not coming off the greatest performance. I don't even know who they lost to. Who do they lose to? Tulane. Yeah, Tulane's probably the best team in the group of 6 right now, or group of 5, whatever you want to call it. And again, they had a really tough loss against Illinois. As long as they don't turn to the football, I don't see why they can't win this game. I'm going to actually say Duke wins this one at home. And I won't say it's pretty handily, but I think it'll be a solid win for them. Again, they're definitely a talented team. It's just the fact, again, if they turn to the football, they probably won't have a good shot at winning. Florida and Miami. Florida offensively has been an absolute travesty the past couple weeks. DJ Lagway is an absolute idiot out there. Miami's looked like the best team in the country outside of Oregon for most of, again, their games so far. I'm going to say Miami wins this one 50-10. I think it's going to be an absolute just monster ball, despite Florida having a pretty talented defense. I don't see this game being close. And it's probably going to be higher in the confidence one. All right, again, this is also a game where game day is going to be. Our Saturday night featured game, it's not on ABC, but I think it's NBC. Illinois versus Indiana. I don't think either of these teams are very good, to be honest with you guys. I think Indiana is lucky that they're 19th in the country. I don't think they're that good. Illinois is a team that I think is definitely overrated, but they're just straight up a better team than Indiana. So I'm going to pick them to win that one, but I don't think they're really, again, up there with the Ohio States and Penn States of the world. Up next, we got Arizona State and Baylor. Arizona State, again, rough loss again against Mississippi State, but I still think they're going to win this one. Cool. Baylor got a big win, but I don't trust their defense, to be honest with you guys. Even they get really just to hold the lead. BYU is going to be East Carolina. I don't really know why that's a pick. BYU isn't a great team. Again, they lost a quarterback and all that, all those memes they want to make about it, but they're a better team than East Carolina. Simple as that, though. Points for this game, what do we say? Let's say 50-10, so I guess 60 points. It'll be that way, Why did that show up? Just for the heck of it, we're going to put 60. No, we're doing 68. 68 points. I don't really care how that happens, but high-scoring game in that one. Well, that's autosave. I'll do the confidence stuff after. Hope you guys enjoyed this preview. And again, looking back to that Thursday night game, there's been a lot of crazy games between the Dolphins the past couple of years, but if you don't remember, some of the Rams and Eagles are going to be playing at 1 o'clock this week. But again, 2022 Week 3, 1 o'clock window. Dolphins and Bills were both 2-0, undefeated, and they played. And here's how it ended.
Allen, up, Crowd, gets away! Oh my goodness, how did he escape? It goes off to McKenzie. He'll drive and dance. The clock continues to tick. He picks up 11. The clock is at 5. The clock is at 3. Miami is 1. Zero's on the clock.
Kevin, this game had everything. Both these teams gave everything